Hello, this is probably where I should say I want to play a game because again I didn't know what to talk about this week, and then realised Spiral was coming out in cinemas, certainly in America. I'm not sure of the UK release date, so it was an excuse to talk some Saw and say, you know, if you're a fan of the series, I reckon it's probably, if you feel comfortable with it, it's probably worth going to the cinema to see Spiral. Not entirely sure of how good Chris Rock will be in the lead role. He has a limited Chris Rock range, but yeah, be good to support the series in the cinema and see how that goes. Saw is ace. It's edited in a really over-the-top manner. It has moments that clearly show it was kind of quickly made and with a relatively low budget. It has Cary Elwes, but other than that, it's really good. Bless him, Cary Elwes. And I think it's a superb ending, and it really sets up the sort of all of the good stuff for the entire series or franchise. Saw 2 is really good. Has some good traps. Is a fun watch. Doesn't match the original at all, or a number of the other films, in that, as I always say, Saw 2 has an ending in which the main character, being kind of taught the lesson, if you like, doesn't learn that lesson at the end of Saw 2. You go back and watch Saw 2 if you don't believe me. There's a lot of very quick editing to make you think otherwise, but by the end of Saw 2, the main person, who's kind of the focus of John's, Kramer's attention, Jigsaw's attention, does not know really what has happened until we get to the next film. And that's why Saw 3 is so good, and it would have been absolutely fine if they'd ended this with a trilogy and wrapped it up. I think it's great. I just think it's a fine way to tie up the storyline that then got more and more convoluted. Angus McFadden is a good lead. His character is given a good story, and it's nasty. Things start to get quite blurry with Saw 4, which has some good traps, really starts to tie itself up in knots, and I mean, that's all I'm going to say about it, because you then get Saw 5, which is the nadir of the series, really. It's is it Costas Mandylor, is that how you pronounce his name, is there throughout Saw 4 and 5, I believe. Comes to the 4 as the series goes on. Isn't sort of really as good or interesting as they make out. But Saw 6, things get back on track, and it's a good film. The traps are well done, as they are most of the movies. That's part of the appeal, and also takes aim at generally the state of the American health system, which we have all heard horror stories about, even without reverse bear traps on heads being there. Then, let me put this pile down. I went to the cinema to see Saw, the final chapter. Pretty sure that it wasn't going to be the final chapter. You know, I've come a long way since the days I rushed to see Freddy's Dead at the cinema, thinking that would be the last time we'd ever see Freddy Krueger on screen again. How naive I was. But I was looking forward to this. It was in 3D. It is like really good, I think, and again, if they'd ended things here, I think it would have been a really decent end to the whole series. But of course they're not going to do that because they have like a massive cash cow to go. Some of the traps in here are, I think, are really memorable and make you wince. It's kind of everything you want from the series, even if some bits feel a bit fan servicey. And then we get Jigsaw. I don't know why I've been hearing lately people kind of dismissing Jigsaw or disparaging it. I thought it was pretty good, solid. I like the Spierig brothers who did this. Undead was their first, certainly an early film. Really fun kind of zombie horror comedy with some other elements in there. Daybreakers, really interesting, stylish vampire movie. Predestination, I don't love as much as some people, but I admire the ideas that were there and what they tried to do. And then they came on board to tell some of the Saw story, and again, there are some great set pieces here. It's a lot of fun. If anything, it's kind of undone by being the, well, I've lost count already. I've got the pill there. Being the 8th film in the Saw series. So it has all of that baggage, which includes audience expectations, as well as getting people into place and winding the story around further. So, as I say, Spiral, I'm not going to say you have to go and see Spiral and support horror and support cinemas and support the Saw movies, because yeah, a lot of people might still feel uncomfortable going to the cinema. A lot of people might not like the idea of the film just from the trailer. It is a bit strange to see Chris Rock in the mix now, and I hope that he pleasantly surprises us all and comes good with that. But yeah, if you're keen to get back to the cinema and you want a bit of a gory horror fix, sight unseen, I don't have any advanced screen or anything, but I would say like throw a few quid that way if you can afford it, and go and see Spiral, and we'll get eventually back to some kind of normality where we're looking forward to cinema trips, we're looking forward to horror movies at the cinema and horror film festivals, which often have a lot of the best atmospheres for seeing these movies. A good film becomes so much better with a crowd all enjoying the same moments. A bad film becomes so much better with the crowd all laughing at moments that weren't designed for laughter. So yeah, that's my ringing endorsement for a film I haven't seen yet, and another comment on what I hope happens with modern cinema going. And as you can tell, I'm still not used to where I should look. There's still not going to be fancy graphics. There's maybe some moody music if you hear it picking up from the Saw DVD screen. That's it. These don't get any better. That is reflected in the views and subscriber numbers. But do like and subscribe, and check out the podcast, which is more than just me rambling on. And feel free to suggest topics or things that I should be looking at or discussing from my own collection, from stuff that's out and about there. Even if it's games, he said, knowing he's got Resident Evil Village waiting there for him. It's going to take me years because I want to play the other Resident Evil games in their entirety first. But I hope everyone who's playing Resident Evil Village does so much better than I will do when I eventually get to it. And I hope you're all having fun with it, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.